Good evening and welcome to the Whisky Lover Society with me, Retief, and tonight it's part 3 and final series on the Talisker distillery, the Talisker core range, and I picked only 3 of them: the Talisker Skye, the Talisker Storm, and tonight we are doing the Talisker 10-year-old. I will put a link in the description for both of the reviews that I've already done, the Skye and the Storm, so that you can go take a look later on. I also gave quite a lot of information with regards to the distillery on that one, so I don't want to repeat it again. I don't want to make any long videos, but just on the Talisker 10, it is from the Isle of Skye, 10 years old, bottled at 45.8%. I'm not sure about the coloring, but I presume there is some coloring added. I also already have that in the Skye and the Storm, some color added. Non-chill filtered, but I don't know because they don't give me that information, and I looked and I can't find anything. So the presumption, if I don't put it on a label, that it is a chill filter. So I've poured all of them. As you can see, I have the Skye, I have the Storm, and now the 10-year-old. So I poured it about 15 minutes ago to give it a little bit of time to breathe, a little time to bring out all the nice flavors. So I'm going to start off with the 10-year-old. And then I'm going to do a quick comparison between the 3, and I'm going to pick my winner. So the Talisker 10-year-old on the nose. Cheers. So they are all supposed to be a smoky whiskey. In the first 2, the Skye and the Storm, I didn't get a lot of smoke. In fact, almost 0 smoke. On this one, I do get a little bit more smoke, but it is very light smoke. So for me, it is about maybe 10 to 15 parts per million of the phenols. So it's quite a light smoke whiskey. So it also feels a little bit more alcohol in it. If I compare it to the other 2, there's a little bit more alcohol notes coming out. I also get a little bit of a dusty note coming through, and a little bit of a peach note, hint of peach, with freshly cut peach that you just open up, and you get that hint of peach. A little bit of a citrus note on the back, something like a lemon preserve. It's not so sweet, though. If I compare it to the previous ones, they were a lot sweeter on the nose, and this one does not have all the sweetness. Caramel, definitely some caramel and vanilla, and coming from the ex-bourbon casks. Now I know the previous 2, they used refurbished bourbon casks, where they take it apart, they skim it, they put a new char on it, assemble it together, and they reuse the cask over and over. And that would draw out quite a lot of the vanilla and the caramel, and I also get quite a lot of the vanillas and caramel on it. So on the taste, cheers. Oh, there's definitely, the smoke is there. It's a lot more smoke on the taste for me, but it's a different smoke. The previous one's more like a savory smoke. In this one, the smoke is more like an ash type of smoke. There is some sweetness, but definitely not as much as on the previous 2. A little bit of a pepper note coming out as well. I do get the spices, I do get the vanilla, and I do get a little bit of a burnt caramel note, and now the oak comes in, and I was expecting the oak to come in of 10 years. I was expecting quite a lot of oak, and I'm not disappointed in that, because it seems that there is quite a lot of oak in it. And a little bit of a dry mouthfeel on the whiskey as well. And on the third sip, more and more oak coming in, a little bit of a spicy bite to it, a little bit more peppery note on it, and that is about that. So I must say I'm a little bit disappointed in this one. I was expecting a little bit more mellow notes on it, 10 years, but I think 10 years on this one was a little bit too much. The oak for me is a little bit too dominant on it. But of course, if you do like the oak, then this one is for you. If you're not so big fan of the oaky, the dark chocolates, the coffee notes or the espresso notes, then of course 10 years on American oak can be a little bit much as well. So oak is definitely taking over and dominating all the other ones. And there is a little bit of a smoke. So I get the oak and smoke. The sweetness was there for maybe 2 or 3 seconds. A little bit of a caramel and a little bit of a vanilla, and then the oak. So oak, 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 oak. So for me, the nose, it's nice, but I did enjoy the nose of the Storm and the Skye a little bit more. And I've found lots more flavors in the nose in the younger one than the 10-year-old. As a little bit of a comparison, I'm going to look at all 3, and I'm going to pick my winner of the Taliskers. So we're going to start off with the Talisker Skye. Now I've poured it about 15 minutes ago, but the nose is incredible. Loads and loads of apple notes coming out now. Vanilla notes, fruity notes, pears. Really nice one for me. On the nose, it's quite nice. If I compare that to the Storm, a little bit similar, but a little bit of a dusty note also coming out. But a little bit more toned down between the Skye and the Storm. So the Skye is for me a lot more fruity flavors. And compare that to the 10-year-old, the flavors are definitely toned down. So who's the winner? And I think if you nose them all together and you look for all the flavors, there can only be one. And I must say I do love it. So who's the winner? The Talisker Skye for me is definitely the winner. There's so much nice flavors in it, and it also reminds me a lot of the Glencairn series. They also have this nice orchard, apples, pears note coming out, and I presume because they do age it in the same type of maturation, being ex-bourbon casks, and they also use second and third fill bourbon casks, so the flavors are quite similar to me. And of course here they have a hint of smoke, but of course in the Skye it was only a hint. So the winner for me, Talisker Skye, and I'm happily going to buy a big bottle of this one. So thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and help my channel to create a little bit of a success. So cheers.